Matt-Trakker's gonna live the nation, and Spectrum's got such supervision. M.a.s.k is a mighty power that could save the day. M.a.s.k, no one knows what lies behind the mask charade. M.a.s.k, always riding out on Venom's trail. Comes to the laser rays, fire away.
Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Mask. I want to thank everybody for their support lately. Your comments have been great. Keep them coming. I do read them all. If you have a request for a video, if you just have a general question, post it and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I do want to remind everybody that we have a lot of playlists that are built for like reviews and guests. Like if you're looking for something in particular, you can like weed it out that way to see what we have to make it a little easier for you to find what you're looking for. And yeah, I just hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you're giving them a full watch, and I hope that what we're doing here is making your day a little bit brighter. And this is a question here, speaking of questions that I get, is about the M.a.s.k movie that has been announced, but nothing's really happened with it. Now, the one thing I can tell you is that it's still on, but that's about it. I know that it's not scrapped or anything like that, but there's just no movement on it. And Agents of M.a.s.k, they have a script that they wrote for a M.a.s.k movie. And there's a couple other sites out there that have their own script. So the question that was really posed was, what would you want out of a M.a.s.k movie? And it's a topic that I talk about off and on in episodes, in our panels, with guests. I was joking with Doug Stone, who plays Matt-Trakker, in the interview the other day, asking if he was in the movie, would he do his own stunts? Obviously not, but so the overall question is, what would I want out of a M.a.s.k movie? Well, a movie, that'd be great. I do want live action. Animation would be fine, but I would want something live action. And the take of it, it would have to follow the original cartoon, not to a T, but sort of what Kerouac did in his comic book series, where he took those characters and really ramped it up. And that's what I would want to see, is something that's more plausible, more realistic, and even a little gritty if you think about it. M.a.s.k, they're two entities fighting each other, and nobody dies in it. Well, Kerouac's comic, they did, but nobody dies in it, and it's kind of weird in that aspect, where I know it's an 80s cartoon and you can't kill people in it, but if you're making a movie about it today, you'd have to start with the betrayal of Andy Trakker and 2 Miles Mayhem. And I kind of feel like that would be a good starting point. You can have some kind of I don't know, maybe a flashback, so to speak. You can make Matt a little bit younger in this scenario, but still have Matt be old enough to be a part of what they're doing, tinkering and everything like that, but still, a trillionaire, whatever they have, and kind of see the ultimate betrayal of Miles Mayhem to his brother by killing him and stealing all the M.a.s.k technology. And Venom goes unchecked for years until Matt, with help from Bruce Sato, maybe Buddy Hawks, some of the original characters, through time were able to recreate the M.a.s.k, entities themselves. and then actually start up to then try to stop Venom. And there's a lot you can do there. You get a lot of really good backstory. You can see a lot of the growing and the arc of these characters. And you can have Venom win in the beginning, right? So Venom wins. Their organization is able to take over almost everything because of this mass technology in the vehicles. And it just so happens that Mask is kind of like a resistance almost, and led by Matt on wanting to avenge his brother, but also to stop Miles' mayhem. And in the process, creates this super, like, this unit for good. And they eventually branch out more. I don't want to have 50 characters in this, but what I would say is that I don't want to also have too few of characters. I feel like four of like the main characters are Venom with the henchmen, where Mask would have to find a way to not only fight, basically the generals you would call them of the Venom army. They'd also have to, fight the henchmen themselves. Something for them to fight and to you get some vehicle action out of it. And that's kind of what I envision there. 4 or 5. The Mask team. Well, we go with the Venom team. You go Miles, Rax, Dagger, and Vanessa, and maybe Bruno Shepard or Nash Corey. Bringing that computer feel into it because it's going to be maybe modern, but still look retro. And on the Mask side, you'd have Matt, Bruce, Alex, Dusty, Gloria, and Brad. And you would see how, as they come about, how everything transpires. Almost think of it like, these people are still having their jobs, right? Brad's a musician, etc. But Matt knows that they also have other talents. So think of it more along the lines of like Batman recruiting the Justice League in Justice League, but think of it as the Snyder Cut. So you bring them in, you realize their talents, and that's how you end up getting this collective together. Venom's the same thing. These criminals, Mayhem's able to pluck because he has the most advanced weaponry in the world, and nobody can stop him. And that's about it, really. What would the vehicle design look like? Retro, but modern. I don't want like everything to be brand new. I want it to have the appeal to the older crowd of us seeing that retro nostalgia on the screen, but also appeal to a younger generation to pull everybody in collectively. And then if the first one works, essentially you can do one-offs, you can do sequels, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. But basically the premise of the first one would be avenging Andy's death, and stopping Venom from being the organization that they are. And then afterwards, you're toppling them down a little bit. And then you kind of have it go back up, things of that nature. I think that would be a pretty good dynamic, actually. You don't need, so like I said, you don't need a ton of characters in this. You don't need to change anything too drastically because it's already a pretty good product. And, maybe in doing so, you get some of the old cast members in as a cameo, as Doug Stone said, maybe they're sitting in a coffee shop or something. But I would like it to be something along those lines. Now, if it came out as anything, I would go to see it. But again, it's like what I talked about with Michael from the Retro Blasting episode, is that I know that something might not be that good, but if it's Mask related, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go see it because everything else has had its day in the sun and then some. Meanwhile, we, the community, have to keep Mask going. and that's what we're doing by watching these videos and liking and commenting on them, and going into the forums and the message boards and all the other websites and watching other mask channels, well, not other channels, but videos that are out there from for mask. I'm really happy with the growth, what we have, and again, I really appreciate everybody watching. So, what are your thoughts on a live action movie? What do you want to see out of it? Do you have any ideas for cast members? I do, but it's going to be another episode. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions in general, please let me know. But again, thank you for watching, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later.